Hey guys, how's it going? Happy Wednesday, another day off the calendar. So how's your day today? I have been busy cleaning my studio. For those that saw me yesterday in the Fashion Sewing Club, that whole table back there was filled with fabric, and I put it all away and got everything cut. So if you had an order the last couple days, all of it's going out this afternoon. So don't worry, you're going to get everything soon. Hey, how's it going? So I see you all rolling in. Can everybody hear me okay? If you've never been to the show before, say hi, say where you're from. I see the entire wolf pack rolling in. Yeah, I have been cleaning and cleaning and cleaning. And I just had to laugh because earlier today, I've had so much fun doing live shows with all of you every single day that I was thinking, gosh, it's so quiet in here. When am I going to see everybody? And it's already 1:30. So here you are. Oh, Karina, you made your Rouge tea. I can't wait to see it. I've actually been so busy today. I haven't even been in the Facebook groups at all. Hey, Susan, great to see you. I know I haven't cleaned the floor yet. I swept it, and welcome from Seattle. Yes, I spy a clean cutting table. Well, Marty, you know that's not going to last long, right? Absolutely. So, hey, Janice. Okay, and we have Sweden. I love it. People from all over the world. So today I have something informational for you. I'm going to show you how to use your Coverstitch machine. I know we had this whole discussion 2 weeks ago when I showed you how to use your serger, but today we're going to use the Coverstitch machine. Everyone kept saying, what's the difference? Does a serger do the same thing as an overlock? Well, okay, so let me just give you some lingo for this, all right? And then we'll go to the Coverstitch machine. So you can ask questions. I actually try to read the questions while I'm working on the machine, but if I can't see it, then, well, then you can ask me at the end. I always go back at the end too. So what's the difference between the Coverstitch and the overlock? There's serger and overlock are pretty much the same terminology. That's the machine that you can do a 3-thread overlock, a 4-thread overlock, a rolled hem. You can change the differential feed and do gathering, but mainly what it's known for is a 3-thread or 4-thread overlock where it finishes the edge of the seam and cuts the fabric and finishes it at the same time. It's so fast and easy. I actually just made another pair of leggings. I think I'm up to, 4 pairs now because they take like an hour, and I just use the serger and just use the Coverstitch. That's it. So the other thing is for the Coverstitch, that's what you quite often see as a hem. Like, for example, look at my sleeve right here. That's a Coverstitch. So the inside is finished and the outside has 2 or 3 rows of stitching. You could also do that with using a twin needle and a sewing machine, but the Coverstitch has that. So I'm going to show you how to use the Coverstitch, and then you guys can ask the questions or whatever you want to do. Okay, you're so funny. Hey, Helen, I am on. If you cannot see me, or if you can hear me, refresh your page. I'll just, somebody type that for her, if you don't mind. What do I prefer, Coverstitch or double Coverstitch? Kendra, I like both. I love the double Coverstitch, which I'm going to show that as well. I took all the tools of the trade out. But I love the double Coverstitch for sportswear or decorating a seam on a fleece jacket, stuff like that. What fabric is good for leggings? Christina wants to know. Oh, and by the way, for those of you that missed it last week, my leggings pattern is coming out. It should be out Friday, if not sooner, but Friday is the day, the big debut. And it is free to everyone that's in a Fashion Sewing Club for the month of May. So it's just one pattern piece that you cut twice. Super easy, but I'm calling this a virtual pattern because the directions are very limited and it's all going to be video. So you can ask questions. I say virtual because it'll be live as well. So yes, I'm so excited. Here, I'm wearing my black ones today. I guess if I would take the comment off the screen. So what fabric is good? For these leggings, you really want a 4-way stretch. So like behind me there, I've got a whole bolt of black. If you're looking for black like this, it has a little shine to it. I also wore these. Did you get my newsletter this week? I was wearing this in the photo, these leggings. I have 2 pairs now. Actually, I have 3 pairs of the black because that seems to be what I'm wearing. And then I just have to do 1 load of laundry at the end of the week and get all the black, the gray, the pink. I'll wash those separate. So you want a 4-way stretch because you want the leggings to be fitted. And then you need 1 inch or 1 1/4 inch elastic. And also on Friday, I'll have kits available for those that wanted kits because we talked about that. All right, Yvette, what's the difference between a cover stitch and a double cover stitch? Well, the cover stitch actually looks like this, and the double cover stitch is where it kind of looks like this on both sides, which you'll see here. I'll do a demo on that. Patra, you can save the video for later a couple ways. You can share it to your page, to your own timeline. That's the easiest way to find it. Or you can come back to Angela Wolf. I'm on my Angela Wolf page today. So it's facebook.com/Angela Wolf Couture. And if you go under videos, they're all there. All right. Are you let me just make sure I'm not missing anything else. So we're going to go to, oh, Connie, I'm bummed you didn't get a notice today. But you haven't missed anything yet, Connie. I just started. Judy, I don't know. You could message me later and I could find out for you, though. And BJ, no, brother does not have a combo. So these are both separate. So you ready to go over there? And then I will. Oh, no, Christy, out of electricity. Oh, that's not good. And thanks, Janet. Are any sergers that do double cover stitch? Yes, that's where we're going. All right, so I'm going to go over there. I'm not going to waste time rolling over there. It's just me today. So let me just take this off the screen so you can see. Oh, shirt. I'm wearing the ruche tee. I just altered the bottom of it. See what I did to the hem? I made it longer, and I made it longer in the back so it could cover my tush. I mean, I don't mind wearing leggings, but hey. All right, I'll meet you at the cover stitch. Grab your tea. And I'm going to make sure that I have your comments up. So if I see any big questions, I can answer them while I'm doing this. All right. So a couple weeks ago, we worked on this one here. This is the serger. Remember, I showed you how to thread it. I actually just used this and now I took the looper out. So usually there's 2 looper threads and then 2 needles, or it could be just 1 needle if you're doing 3 thread. So this is the serger, and this is the one that trims the fabric. There's the knife. And you can go back and watch this video. If I didn't put it on my blog, it'll get up there eventually. But it's a whole video showing you how to use this. Plus, I have YouTube videos, things like that. I have blueprint classes if you're into online classes. And so that's the serger. So I'm going to put that to the side for a minute, but I can take questions on that later. But let's go to the cover stitch. Don't get seasick for a minute. I'm just going to move you just for a moment. Get you a little closer. All right. So here is the cover stitch. What's the difference? There's no knife to start with. There you go. Ooh. No Dramamine, guys. So look up here. There's 3 areas here for needles. There's a left needle, a middle needle, and a right needle. Right now, I'm just using the left and the right. Okay. Then you have the looper. There's only 1 looper on the cover stitch. Okay. And right now, I have some woolly poly in there because this is what I just finished working on in the last week are these leggings. So you can see, here's my gray pair. So I did the cover stitch along the waistband, and then I did the cover stitch on the hem. See how nice that looks? And then I did the serger, which was the other machine, on the inside. And look at how nice the woolly poly looks on the thread. See how it just makes it's nice and thick, just fills it in. It's pretty rich. And it stretches. So when you put your leggings on and off, you don't have to worry about your fabric or popping your seam. And trust me, if you're wearing a pair of pants that are leggings that are fitted, you don't want to pop your seam, right? So this is what the cover stitch looks like on the inside. Beautiful. Actually, and if you do the double cover stitch, it looks like this on both sides. So I have some scrap fabric here, and I'm just going to show you how this is threaded. I'm not going to go through the whole thing because it's so simple. It's easier than the serger. Okay, so these are the 2 needles, or 3 needles, whichever. They go through the tension discs just like we did with the serger. So the thread goes down, it's color coded. I love color coded, that's so simple. So it goes down, up here, around, and down. And then it goes behind this little bar here. I'll bring you just a little bit closer. Let's see if I can get you just a little bit further in here. All right. And then through this needle, that's the left needle. This is very important though. If you're going to use the double cover stitch, which I will show you, I'll show you both. You need to make sure that this thread is behind here. This kind of has a little lever here. It needs to go behind there and behind this bar. There's a metal bar here. If your thread is sticking out here in front of it, when you do the double cover stitch, you'll break your needle every time. Okay, so then this is the right needle. It goes up through here, down through the tension disc. Thread goes through here, up and around, and then I'm following the pink this time, color coded, and it goes through the right side of this metal, down. And I have a really good YouTube tutorial on this that has good lighting. We always say when you're doing live shows, you don't have as much lighting and stuff. So if you want to learn how to thread this, you can watch my YouTube video. To get to YouTube, just go to angelawolf.com and click on it. So then this goes through the right side. So see how this lever moves just a little bit? I don't know how close I can get you. Oh, I can get you a little closer. So this moves. The thread goes right behind that. And then right behind, I'm going to just take this thread and put it right behind this bar. There you go. Oh, nope. There you go. It's behind. So there's a metal bar here and both threads are behind that bar. And then it gets threaded in the needle. Making sure that nothing's twisted. Okay. What about the looper? Now I've already done this, but this is really self-explanatory. I'm using woolly poly in the looper. It goes up, around, through the tension disc, and I'll bring you closer. It just shows you. It goes up around here, through here, and this is I'm following these color guides here. Through, and then this also has a lever similar to the serger to get to the looper. So let me just get you a little closer. This right here. And when I lift that, push this in and push this out, that's how you can thread this area here. When you're finished, put that back into place. Now, what about there is something here that looks like it's an upper looper. That's not an upper looper. That's the double cover stitch, which we'll do in a minute. Okay, but that's all threaded up here. But there's some color coding for you to follow. All right, so on the side of this machine, you have, there's, let's see, put my glasses on. There's stitch length, and then there's differential feed. So again, differential feed is how fast those feed dogs move with your fabric. So if it's stretching your fabric, you'll want to adjust this. You could also gather fabric with it. And then stitch length. This is, I actually, quite often, I'll leave it at 4 because I love the look of a longer stitch on for sportswear, but I'll make this a little, I'll make it at 3 right now. Let's see. The only other thing is when I go to do the double cover stitch for you, just notice right here, this has a line right here on the hand wheel that matches with this line. That has to be in the up position. Those have to match when you go to do the double cover stitch. This is your presser foot up and down. So basically the same as a serger almost, except different. All right. Now I'm going to grab a piece of fabric here and just make sure that you guys can see close enough. I'm just going to run back up here and make sure that that you all can see because I cannot quite see your comments from where I am. So, oh, Kendra, I'll read the machine number when I go over there. Darlene, you just got a letter from the president? You go, girl. Oh, thank you, Susan. It is a 3:55. You guys are great. Okay, I'm just making sure I'm not missing anything, and you guys can hear me okay over there and see? Yes, yes? Woolly poly, Amy, I don't use woolly poly in the needles. Although, you know, Pam said she used it for embroidery and stuff like that, but I have not used it in the needles. I just use regular serger thread in the needles. Woolly poly, Nancy, is, have you heard of woolly, whew, those are dirty, woolly nylon, which stretches? It's often used in baby clothes, swimsuits, stuff like that. So woolly poly is very similar, except it's not, it's just a little bit different. It has a little stretch to it and it's thicker than a regular thread. All right, and I'm just making sure I'm not missing any of your questions and you can see me and hear me. That sounds wonderful. Okay. I think, yep. Oh, hey, Barbara. Nice to see you. Okay. You can ask more questions. I'll go back and watch these, but as long as you can see me and hear me, perfect. Good source for serger thread. So I actually have that huge rack of thread over there. So I actually sell the woolly poly. I did a collaboration with Wonderful. So you can order those on my website. Other places, if you message me, I can give you some other resources too. And can I show the elastic part? Well, Di, I'm not showing the elastic part today because I have a full tutorial about that with the leggings. But I am going to show you how to use the cover stitch. Okay. Yes, Sharon, it's only a double cover stitch. I mean, it's a cover stitch and double cover stitch. So, all right, now that I know you can see me, I'll meet you back over there. Let's roll. Not literally, but okay. So I have my 2 needles in place. Now, you know what happens on a cover stitch machine if you're live. So I'm sure something will probably screw up because that's just what happens when you're live, but we're going to keep our fingers crossed that doesn't happen. And I'm going to aim this towards you. So I'm kind of serging on a side, but who cares? Okay, so the first thing I did is I look at that crease. This is one of the biggest tips, and I know so many of you that have followed me a long time, you know that that's all I ever talk about is pressing knits. So I gave this a little steam. I folded pretend this is a hem. I folded it up, gave it a little steam, and used my tailor's clapper on there. And look at that crease. This has been sitting for like 2 hours waiting for our live show. So you fold this under. You have a guide right here to tell you how wide, you know, because you're hemming from the right side of the fabric. So what I usually do is I'll figure out where I want the edge of my hem to be. So I want both needles to be stitching through both layers of fabric. If I'm stitching and one needle is off of the hem and one needle is on the hem, it never looks quite right. Bring you just a little closer. Okay. So I use this guide here on the side and line up my edge of the fabric on one of these, whatever number I want. So just slide this under here. This is obviously not a straight piece of fabric, but it'll get the job done. All right, so you just start stitching. I always like to go slow for a minute, make sure everything's coming out correctly, especially with all of you following. And I can see that looks really nice. And then the back side looks like, and I'll take this out so you can see it closer, but that's the back side. That looks great. Now, if you're stitching all the way around in a circle, let's pretend this is a circle. And wherever I started my stitch, this would be common for like the bottom of these leggings here. This was a whole circle. How do you start and end where it still looks nice? So I usually start at the side seam. If it's a side seam I'm working on, I'll start right before that side seam, stitch all the way around, and then I go back over my stitches about 1 inch. Okay, so let's just pretend we've stitched all the way around in a circle. And let's just say I just got back to my stitches. I'm going to go back over where I started by 1 inch. And if you're using this as a guide, it should go right over your stitches. Okay. Now this is not, I'm not doing the double cover stitch. This is just a 2 needle wide cover stitch here. I'll do the double next. Okay. Get to here. Let's pretend we made it all the way around our circle. How do you finish these stitches? So have you ever done a cover stitch where the whole backside ripped out because it's a chain stitch? I'm going to show you how not to do that. So I'm turning the wheel on the right hand side counterclockwise until the needles are in the up position. I lift up the presser foot.
I always leave a pair of tweezers around. Now you might have seen me use, sometimes I'll use scissors, but that's not always so smart because then I end up popping the threads. I'm just going to slide this up in here and I'm literally pulling, these are the needle threads, I'm pulling this out. And this helps you to be able to pull your fabric out. See, it loosens that up and then you can pull your fabric. All right, so let me get my hand out of the way. And then I always like to put those back so they don't come out. And I'm just going to back this up just a little bit. Okay, so I have 2 threads on the top. You can see those? And I have 1 thread on the bottom, which is the chain stitch. So when I cut the top ones, I usually leave a little bit of room. But make sure you leave long enough needle threads. You don't have to rethread those because that's a big pain. Now, here's the magic, and I'll bring you closer to see this because this is like always that wow moment that when you see it, you're like, whoa, I didn't know that could happen. So you can see these 2 threads, right? Watch, I'm going to give it a tug. Boom, gone. They were all pulled to the back. And then guess what? This can come out, and I'll bring this back out. And I can cut off the back. I might have tugged a little bit too hard, but okay. So now all 3 threads are in the back. Again, look, there's nothing in the front. This stretches, so you could, on leggings, leggings are kind of tight against your ankle. This stretches, the back side looks great. I probably would have stitched a little closer to the edge, but you can always go back and trim that. And so now from this side, what I like to do is I want to make sure that everything looks good back there. And then I just take these threads and do a double knot. Not always, but with leggings, because you're really going to be stretching that a lot, I would do the double knot because then this won't come out. Slippery little fabric here. So this fabric is a performance wear. I do sell this fabric. It's on my website. I don't know if there's any gray left, though. I think I might have sold the last bit, but I have like 6 colors. So if you go on my website under fabric, look under athleisure wear. That's where all of my legging fabrics are. And then the black that I'm wearing. Doesn't that look great? Okay, so what about the double cover stitch? So hold on a second. I'm going to go grab
I'm going to press this real quick so I can have one more side for a hem. I'm just making sure you don't have any questions. Oh, you're welcome, Jenny. Thanks. Magic tricks. I know. So I never used to do that, but every once in a while I would have one of my shirts and the whole hem rips out. And so I'm like, okay, I got to start pulling them to the back. And I never used to do it because it was a pain, but you know what? It's so easy to do. Yes. Can you give a tip for working in a small loop? Like, you mean like those little pant cuffs that I was doing there? I will definitely give you a tip for that. All right, so let me go press this real quick and I'll meet you back at the serger. So 1 moment, please. Okay. I'd take you to the pressing table with me, but okay, here we go. I would have taken you to the pressing table with me, but that's a long way. That's on the other side of the room. You would really get seasick if I did that. Okay, so I've taken another piece of fabric. I've already pressed with the tailor's clapper. There's a nice crease ready to go under the cover stitch machine. And I'm just going to get this started. Now, to do the double cover stitch, there's a couple tips here. And I don't know. I had everyone, when they first started this, like, I don't understand. There's too many different features. And it's kind of outside of our brain when it comes to this, because that's not how we've done the cover stitch before. But to do the double cover stitch, there's 2 little contraptions here that you need. This and this, which I'll move really slow so you can follow. And again, I have a full YouTube video if you go to my YouTube channel. So before you can put the double cover stitch on, I always like to do like just a couple stitches.
just enough to make sure that the cover stitch is actually working, because you can stitch over that part with the double cover stitch when you go back around. Or if you're starting at an edge and you're wondering, I don't know if the cover stitch is working, just grab an extra piece of fabric to get started, okay? Because you really want to know, I'll go a little further. It looks like it's working. You want to know that the stitch is actually working, because if the cover stitch isn't working, the double cover stitch is definitely not going to work. Okay, so let me just bring you up here and I'll show you how to thread this extra one. I'm just going to grab just regular serger thread for this. You could use woolly poly though, because it looks really nice. So this goes here. And then I'm going to go up. Make sure you can see up. My door's open. You can see all my shipping back there. Okay, up and around. And then down through here. And then through this loop right here. Okay, it clicks in. This is your tension disc. Now, this is where it gets a little tricky. So I'll go really slow. And then again, I'll take your questions later. But make sure your needle, I got to go one more stitch here. I'm making sure my needles are in the up position, like it showed me on the side, like I showed you at the beginning. And those of you rolling in here later, don't worry, just save the video to your page and you can watch this from the beginning. So this actually clicks right back here. Just clicks into place, okay? That's one thing. This is why I mentioned that you have to have your threads, and I'll bring this a little bit closer. You have to have your threads behind this bar here. If not, what happens is when this goes back and forth, it hits your threads and it breaks your thread. Ask me how I know that. Learning from experience is the best. All right, slide this into place. There. So this is the contraption to do the double cover stitch. So the double cover stitch is basically just a thread that's going to be wound back and forth, almost like weaving across the top. Okay, so I'm going to bring this out a little bit. Here's my thread. It came down through here, go around through here, and I'm following the purple arrows, which it tells me to go down. There's a little clip right here. Then there's two clips here. I'll get my hand out of the way after I clip it. I'm trying to do this sideways. Goes right in there. Let me make this a little bit closer. There you go. Now you can see it. It goes right through here and then down through here. Now, this is the part that gets a little tricky. So I found a trick. It goes through here and then around this little lip right here. There's a little lip. But I have found it easier to, after I go through these two right here, to hold my finger on here, wrap it around that little loop right. There's a little, like a lip, I would say, and then slide it into that place. It's just so much easier. This is where I lift up my presser foot, and then I just take this entire thread and wrap it towards the back. Don't pull, I'm just wrapping it towards the back. And again, you can watch the replay of this. And I do a couple stitches. Make sure it's working because, you know, about 80% of the time it does, and 20% you have to do it again. So let's see. Oh, it's looking good. I just trimmed off that excess thread on the top. And then keep going. Now I'm using a 2 thread, so it might look a little different, but doesn't that look cool? Bring this over just a little bit. So this is the front. And then that's the back. So the back looks just like a cover stitch. See how shiny that thread is? That's the woolly poly. And then this side is just regular thread. So you can imagine if I was using the woolly poly on this side too, it would be this shiny. I love that look. Okay, so now that's how you do the double cover stitch. But what about if you're stitching in the round, going around like a little pair of leggings here, this little thing here, and you come to the end? How do you finish this double cover stitch to make so you can actually get the thread out of the machine? That's been very tricky. So first of all, looking at these leggings, I'm going to give you a little tip before I do that. In order to stitch in the round, because that is a small area, you turn your leggings inside out And then when you're stitching, you're actually stitching like this. And you're stitching as you're flipping your leggings. Does that make sense? So you're stitching inside out, but you're stitching from the right side, and that'll just slide right under that foot, and you go all the way around. All right, so now how do you end your stitch? If you're just ending your stitch right by itself, you can actually chain off with this thing, which is very cool. But let's just say you went in the round and you got to the end. You would have a few stitches probably where you started, remember, without the top. So I would go past where I started. And then what I do is I'll put the needle up and I'm just going to cut off my top thread. I just cut it right there. And then stitch a little bit further because it would blend in with what you already had. And then again, put your needles in the top position, lift up your presser foot. And this again is if we were going in the round. If you're just stitching straight, then it doesn't really matter. Pull this out a little bit. And trim off your two threads, your top threads. I'm trying to do it with my hands out of the way. And notice what happened here. Make sure you guys can see this. So this is where that thread ended. See, it just stops. That's the top one. And so I just trim that so it matches, so it's flush. So there's my double cover stitch. So then I would have stitched past it, which would have blended in. And then I have my two upper threads right here, and then give it a little pop. Boom, gone. It's all on the back side. And then it releases this tension on your looper. And then there's my bottom, and I can tie that into a knot. So that's the back side, and that is the front side. That's a double cover stitch. And look, it stretches. Isn't that cool? Okay, I gotta get some tea. Excuse me. Tea time. Angie, I would say it's more for decorative. It's not for support at all. Well, it does kind of look the same in the front and the back. Now, Yvette, if I did a 3-thread overlock from the front with 3 needles instead of 2, it would look very similar to the back. But I was only using 2 needles. So the cool part, you can do that double cover stitch with a narrow, the right and the middle needle, or the right and the left needle, or all 3. Those are your options. Can we do a decorative stitching with a single cover stitch machine? Yeah, well, you can't do that on the top, but you could still use Marty, before they came out with the double cover stitch, what I would do is put a decorative thread, like a woolly poly, woolly nylon, in the looper of the cover stitch. And instead of stitching from the right side, where the 3 needles or 2 needles would be on the right side, I would flip the fabric over and stitch from the wrong side. So if I sewed my seam, I would go and stitch on my seam, and then on the right side, it would actually look like a decorative stitch. Just a tip there, because I think I know what machine you have. All right, just Celeste, you're so cute. It's a little if you work with a cover stitch machine, then you're good. How many needles do you usually use when you're doing your leggings? So for the serger, I do a 4-thread overlock. So I'll use 2 woolly nylon in the loopers and 2 regular serger thread in the needles. And then for the cover stitch, I just did 2. I did a 2. Actually, I did a wide because I thought it would be cool. But I also didn't feel like changing all my thread around. So if I'd had a lot more gray thread laying around, I probably would have done the triple cover stitch just because it would look cool. Yeah, I do too. It looks like the top thread could unravel. Let me go get it because it cannot. So let me go grab it. Give you a close up here. Okay, so I'll bring your comment down, Deborah, just so you can see. So this is the regular cover stitch. See how it stretches?
And then that's the back side. And then this piece here, this is what it looks like. And if I had done this is the back side. So this is only with 2 threads. It stretches and it does not unravel. So this piece right here that I trimmed, I could take a needle and tuck it to the back, but usually there would be another stitch there covering that. So it does not unravel. At least I've never had it happen because it's actually getting stuck in your needle. It's going back and forth like weaving. All right, you guys have any more questions? Chris, I think you have a serger then. It's not a cover stitch, you have a serger, which is different. Let's see, can you stitch anything close to a cover stitch with a regular thread serger? My brother keeps calling me. He obviously isn't watching live. Although after yesterday when I called the Star Wars character that I'm working on over there, did you see those? I'll bring them out in a second. And I called him R2-D2 instead of C-3PO. He might not be talking to me anymore because he's a big Star Wars fan. You know, the closest you could do to a cover stitch would be a decorative stitch on your sewing machine, because there's one that kind of looks like that. So that would be one idea, Sharon. Woolly nylon or woolly poly for serge seams? Yes, either or. Either or is fine. But I would use it in the loopers only, not in the needles. Who just said, can I move into your studio? Well, yes, as long as you come help me clean, we're good. Okay, Sophia, tips on getting fabric to feed at the same time when you begin the stitch. Well, there's a knob. Let me take you back over there. This is a good tip. Good question, and I got a tip for you. So when you go to start your stitch, and I'll make sure that your comment's below what I'm doing, look up here. This knob here, righty-tighty, lefty-loosey. So righty-tighty, lefty-loosey. What that does is that lifts and raises your presser foot higher and lower. So what I usually do is I'll slide my fabric under, and quite often I'll actually just lift up the foot this way because it puts pressure on the fabric way up in the front. Okay, that's one thing. And then if you have any problems as it's stitching, then it's a differential feed. But for now, I usually just lift this up. Let's just say that I've got 2 layers of fabric here. Bring that little 2 layers of fabric. I always press my hems before they go up. And be careful, don't use your iron on the knits. Just use some steam and use a tailor's clapper to get that. And then look at, if I just slide this under, I'm pulling, it's already holding this in place. So it should feed at the same time. And if it doesn't, then it's a differential feed issue, which is the knob on the side. And that would be the same thing for the serger as well. Serger and cover stitch, if that makes sense. Hi, Jane. Better late than never. Oh, thanks, Yvette. Oh, Jenny, you made it. Great to see you. And no worries, Sue. When we're almost finished and you can go back and watch the replay. All right, so I'm just making sure I don't... All of us want to move into my studio. Well, that would be a lot of fun. And thank you guys for answering the other questions. Yes, Pamela, you can watch this later. So save it to your timeline, or this is also on my YouTube channel, so you can go to YouTube and watch the live. And I also have other videos that are better quality than a Facebook Live to show you how to thread the cover stitch and use it. You know, Barb, I don't know. The prices are so different from different levels. I've seen cover stitch machines from $250 on Amazon, and I'm not familiar with what that price of that one is now, but just you can call a local brother dealer and ask them. They'll tell you over the phone. Yeah, I don't sell them. I just use them. And full disclosure, I am a brand ambassador, so I test their things. So just so you know that. Do I have any projects for sergers and cover stitch machines? Actually, Amanda, I do. I have, well, there's some on my blog. So this is my, if you go to angelawolf.com, that's how you can get to my blog. But the other one that you might want to consider is, I don't know if you have a subscription to Blueprint, or I have I have 7 online classes there, but 2 are specifically for sergers, and 1 is all projects with the serger. There's like cute bags, how to do gathering, stuff like that. And the other class is more technique based, how to do a bunch of different stitches. And then what else? Can you guys think of anything else that we have that's like serger based? I have an online knits class that's at angelawolf.com if you go to the academy. And then I have just some fun things on the blog. My YouTube channel has a lot too. So it just depends how much you want to search. Yeah, Peg, that's what I was thinking. Oh, Peg, I took a photo for you today. Hold on, you guys. Hold on. Keep each other company. Here I come. I'm so excited. All right, so did you guys catch the interview, the meet and greet with Peg the other day? Peg, you're so awesome. Wait till you see. First of all, I said I would love to have a feather, and look at. These are so beautiful. I went and found one of my crystal vases, and I'm going to put them in a vase. Look at the colors of these. Absolutely gorgeous. So do you want to laugh for the day though? Peg, so she sent me this with some eggs, which all made it except for 2. 2 of them, like, she writes on it, eggs. Please be careful with the box. And I got the box and it's on its side upside down. I thought, oh, this isn't going to be good. But the eggs made it. And I just had another 2 eggs this morning. They are delicious. Oh my gosh. But these are the best. So I have to give you a laugh. And I left Peg a message, but I don't know if I left this part. So I opened the box up. And we're all freaked out about our mail anyways. So I'm ready to wash my hands and everything. And I open the box and then this pops up. And I think, well, if I didn't have a heart attack then, I think I'm doing good. I wasn't expecting feathers. I thought it was an animal. Scared the living daylights out of me. So I'm still laughing about that. And Wynn walked in about 15 minutes later and he's like, are you okay? I'm like, oh my gosh. So thank you. And those eggs are absolutely the best eggs I've ever had. So yeah. Okay, so I'm just going to do a couple. I'm finished with the cover stitch, and I know I'm so true. I know. Kristen, yes. These remember when we talked with Peg? Here you go. Here's the feathers. All right. So what's coming up the rest of the week? First of all, mark your calendar for, Thursday, tomorrow's Thursday, Mr. Domestic is going to give me some tips for quilting. And then here, check this out. This is from Reen. Y'all know I love Reen. Check out the inside. She's going to be teaching how to do this on, I think she might be using the Brother Luminaire, but if you have My Design Center on your 10 needle, your Dream Machine, Stellaire, she's going to show you how to do this in the Hoop Project next Thursday. Okay, so this Thursday at 4 o'clock is Mr. Domestic. Next Thursday is Reen's zipper. So my scissors fit right in here perfectly. And look at this cute little thing here. Okay, so that's next Thursday. And then the week of May, oh, you guys have to help me out. I don't have my calendar open. Is it May 18th? I think it's May 18th. We're going to be doing an apron sew along, and I'm going to be using Molly's, here you go, Molly's apron. You can use any pattern that you want, but she gave me a discount code for you. So if you want to use her pattern, let me know, and I'm going to put the coupon code up in the Angela Wolf Patterns Facebook group. So if you go to facebook.com groups, just look up Angela Wolf Patterns. But isn't this adorable? So stinking cute. So we're going to do a whole week of aprons. We're going to add embroidery. We're going to add embellishment. Reen's going to show how to do that. So Jenny, is it the 11th to the 18th? Thank you for, let me just double check. I think you're right. course, I don't have it in here. It's, oh, you have to go back to work that week? Well, good thing for replays, right? All right, hold on. I have a Google Calendar with all of the live shows because we're doing live shows all the way until the end of May. And then if you guys like these shows and you let brother know that, then maybe we'll continue after that, just like a couple days a week. So, but you have to let them know that you like the videos because they won't know that you like them if you don't tell them. Okay, so let me just double check because there's 2 more things on here that I thought you should know too. Okay, yes. Next Monday. So here, I'll just give you the rundown. Let me show you what you're working on next Monday. I'm almost finished embroidering these little guys. It's Star Wars Day on Monday, so I've got a really fun project for you. It'll be a fun one for kids, or give it away, which is what I'll be doing. But it's very cool. So that is on Monday. On next Tuesday is Crafting with May. And we're going to be doing something for Cinco de Mayo. Yeah. And Tuesday, Fashion Sewing Club, we're going to do a Zoom margarita party. If you don't drink, then it'll be a tea party. Either way. So that's for all next week. And then let's see, we have a bunch of different ones coming on. Joanne's coming on, talking about scarves. The whole schedule, I'm trying to send the schedule out every Monday myself as well, but Brother sends out an email as well. So go to brothersews.com and sign up for their newsletter. And every Monday you'll get the whole rundown. You can go save the dates. So the week, okay, Reen is coming on the 14th. And the sew along for the apron is actually the 18th to the 22nd. So 18th to 22nd. I know, very fun. C3PO. I know, Rhonda. Well, I called that R2D2 yesterday, so my brother's probably freaking out right now. But yeah, so you can find this Molly made. I will leave a link for you guys, and she gave a coupon code. So go to her. It's on Etsy. Let's see if I have I don't have it right here. I'll leave a post with it, and I'll leave the coupon code for you too, which was really cool. And this you can make in My Design Center. And if you don't have My Design Center, still watch the tutorial because maybe you can you can cut the stuff out yourself too and just sew it. So she's going to give all the tutorial on this. Very fun. Oh, Jennifer, I almost had it wrong on my calendar, so don't feel bad. So all these fun things, if there's anything specific you'd like to learn, just let me know and we can see what we can do. All right, so am I missing anything else, you guys? Or is that about it for today? I want your brother's shows to come up. Thank you. Oh, so I have my apron. You want to see it? I'll go get it. Okay. Now this is not going to match my outfit at all. So this is going to give you all a really good laugh. But is this cute? Now I can't take credit for making this. I went to an event where Reen was. It's first time. I think it was one of the first times I met Reen and Molly in San Antonio. And this lady walked out with this apron. And I was like, oh my gosh, it's pink and black. I love this. So this is the pattern I'm using. So I'm going to sew it live all week. So there's little pockets. There's like a little pocket here. There's a zippered pocket. And then there's more pockets. And then there's this little thing here, which Reen is going to show us how to do one of these in the hoop that week. And yeah, pretty cute. Anyways, I'll leave a link for this later. And if you're in the Angela Wolf Patterns group, I'll post it this afternoon with the coupon code. So, but if you have an apron pattern that you like or you're already using, then use that. That's fine. I just think this one's cute. Plus, Molly's a friend of mine. Oh, thumbs up. Thank you. Oh, who won the Brothers Sewing Machine last week? Oh, I think I have a photo of it. Hold on. I think if I did it on this computer. We're giving away another sewing machine on Friday. In case you missed that, every Friday. So we've only given away one so far. And I think, oh yeah, here you go. This was the winner from last week. You ready? See if I can bring this up. Here we go. Sharon was the big winner last week. She won the sewing machine and she is from Florida. Yeah, congratulations, Sharon. So I passed your address along and you will be getting a sewing machine. Congrats. So how do you enter to win this? Number one, if you left a comment on any of our live shows this week. So let's see, Monday, Tuesday, we've had one every single day. All you have to do is leave a comment on one of my shows and that automatically enters you in. But if you would like another official entry where you get some extras, that entry is, and I'll leave a link here for you. I'll leave it right when I hang up here. But if you go to my Angela Wolf Couture Facebook page, which is facebook.com, Angela Wolf Couture, if you've never been there, on the left-hand side, if you're on a computer, look down the left side and you'll see contest. Click on contest and it's right there. And the contest is on my blog as well. So you just can enter, you can enter every single day if you want extra entries. You can share it with friends if you want extra entries and leave comments in the show for extra. I got you covered everywhere, but good luck everyone. Very cool, isn't it? Thanks for asking. And we're giving the next one away Friday at noon. Cindy's coming on, I believe. All right, guys. Oh, yes, Mr. Domestic. He's going to be fun. So he's on tomorrow. Does the live entry include all the lives or just yours? Christina, just mine because it's my software that's doing it. So Brother donated the machines to me. So it's not just my show, though. I mean, so on Monday, I'm on live on Brother with at 4 o'clock. Tuesdays, I'm on there at 1 o'clock with May. Wednesdays, I'm here. Thursdays, I'm on Brother at 4, and then Fridays at noon. So those are the 5 shows that you can leave comments on. And you can have extra entries. Yeah, you can always message me if you can't find something too. Hi, Janet. So great to see you all. Amy's going back to work, and thanks for watching. D, no. Brother is not a dual serger and cover stitch machine. It is just there's a serger and then there's just the cover stitch. But you can go back and watch this video. Sharon, do you sleep? Nah, not very often. All right. Do you have to be in the US? So Karen, if you're in Canada, if you decide you want to pay shipping, then that's a possibility, but it is USA only. But you can still enter because I said if anybody internationally wins, then I would draw a second entry and the winner could have a couple of digital patterns and my fashion sewing club for a year. So that's a pretty similar value. So yeah, feel free to enter anyways. All right, Wolfpack, have a wonderful day. It's so great to see you all. And now I have to get off to shipping and answer all the emails. I saw there was a ton that rolled through. So have a wonderful day. See you tomorrow at 4 or before then. All right, if I leave a comment here, am I able to enter? Yes, Becky, that would include 1 entry. But you can also enter on the official entry for extra entries. So both are included. Oh, we'll tell him, brother, keep up the live shows. And again, you guys, if you have a topic you want me to cover, be sure to let me know. All right, I think I have all your questions done. I'll go back and check if you leave more after that. I always leave a delay for a second at the end, but all right, bye you guys. Have a great day and see you soon.